Hi, everybody. It's Patricia Coughlin. I have been away for a while, so I thought I would pop on and make a video. And I wanted to talk about understanding and treating patients who have obsessions and compulsions. I've had a couple cases recently in which a very similar dynamic was revealed as we investigated how these and when these symptoms began. So, obsessive compulsive disorder is not a unitary thing. There are many variations, and I'm sure different sources of, if you think about it, these are defenses that people are using when they're anxious, right? They obsess and ruminate, or they try to control external circumstances by checking. And in the couple cases that I'm going to be talking about, these patients were very worried and sort of obsessed with the idea that they were going to hurt somebody. And because of that, they had to check and check and check, come back to the house many, many times, make sure the iron was off, the stove, the gas wasn't leaking, and so on. So this is very particular to the category of folks who are worried about hurting somebody, right? And checking the locks, the stove, things like this, right? In particular, one was afraid that she was going to inadvertently run somebody over. So when she was driving, if she ever hit a bump, she would pull the car over. She would look around. She was sure that she had, run somebody over, killed somebody. She would even then check the newspaper for the next couple of days to see if there was a story about someone who had been hit by the road. And even though obviously she had never found a dead body on the road, she was still really anxious about this. And this happened every time she went over a bump in the road. And the other person was afraid that she was going to again, forget some appliance in the house that was left on, and there would be a fire and someone would get hurt or killed. So in both cases, again, you look to when did this start, right? You can begin with what was the first, the worst, or the most recent, and then begin to explore what was going on in their life, what was the trigger to this. So in the case of the woman who was afraid she was going to hurt somebody because there would be a fire, she said this first started when she was 6 years old, and she thought it had to do with being bullied at school. And then she said she also had a very recent incident with a professor who she had really liked and felt close to, who gave an exam in which the material covered wasn't even on the exam. And so we started there and started looking at what her feelings were toward this professor. So she was able to access anger with impulses to shake her. And then this was linked to feelings toward those original bullies, and the violent impulses were even stronger there. And then it linked to, well, if you really want to know the person I'm most angry with, it was with a boyfriend who betrayed her. And she sort of slipped in there that she had actually become suicidally depressed after the breakover and actually had to be hospitalized. And what we discovered is that she had a murderous impulse toward him, right? So in each case, we saw that her fear that she was going to hurt somebody was directly connected to her wish, her anxiety-provoking, guilt-laden wish to hurt or even kill somebody. And so this her being able to connect with these feelings, the rage, and then also the guilt about that, how she was punishing herself in this sort of torturous way. And this opened up the system so that we then were looking once again at what happened when she was 6 years old, when this all started. Again, consciously, she thought it was about being bullied, but she then revealed that she was adopted, and she only found out when she was 6 years old. And this came as a very big surprise to her, this link, and how angry she was with her adoptive parents for not telling her. And then the more she found out about the situation, her parents actually married after they gave her away, and had 3 more children who they kept. So she was furious with them as well. And of course, this turned out to be the same dynamic in the first case. The woman who was afraid she was going to run somebody over, this started, right, in a conflictual situation where she had rage towards someone with actually the impulse to mow them down. And so this is, I have found, a pretty common dynamic, especially for people, again, who are afraid that they're going to hurt or kill somebody, that it's actually connected to unconscious wishes to harm and kill, and guilt about that, which is driving this sort of self-torturous thinking and behaving. So I hope this is helpful to you. I'd love to hear back from you if you've had cases like this and what you've discovered is at the root of it. And of course, the most important thing is that following the breakthrough of feeling the link between the wish to harm, the guilt about that, and the symptoms were removed. Okay, so that is your most important factor, right? That okay, that was it. Because once that's exposed, the person experiences the guilt. They realize that despite the wish, they never hurt or killed anybody, and they don't deserve to be punished in this way, that the symptoms disappear. So again, love to hear from you, and talk to you soon.